welcome to another episode of the My 5 Cent Podcast. Let me go ahead and introduce the cast of characters to my upward. Oh, no, wait, that way. We got HLS.
Habitual line step in the building. What's up, everybody?
Okay, so, you're going to introduce the next person because the logical genius is going through some things right now. And we got to give love to Logical Genius. Apparently, he got a promotion. Now we got to call him VPP. So, he's doing this thing with work. He is definitely bogged down, but we appreciate his grind and him moving up. So while he's kind of getting acclimated, we had to go ahead and get a guest host. So HLS, go ahead and introduce the cast of character that's going to be on your other way, that way.
So welcome everybody to the show, Meeshe Meesh, friend and fellow podcaster. We met some time ago. I listened to our podcast that she had a couple years back. I was thoroughly impressed. Meesh, tell everybody about yourself.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Meeshe Meesh. I am just wanting to say thank you so much for extending the offer. Congratulations, Logical Genius, on your promotion, but so happy that this slot became available because I have missed podcasting. It's been a little while, but here I am, live and in the flesh, and excited to talk to our guest today.
All right. So for those of y'all that have been following us from day ones, because we definitely have some day ones that we appreciate, Meesh was actually in one of my Mims episodes where we went through a bracket of breakup songs because somehow, some way, my heart got broken and I was put in third place. Still don't believe it. Still don't understand it.
Because your list was trash. That's why.
Whatever. So Meesh came on and she helped me make it make sense. And we rode with Jersey. We rode with Lauryn Hill. Yes. We knew where to go with that piece.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and get right into it and get to our guest. And our guest for today is a CEO of a vertical video marketing and consulting agency in San Diego. Right now, might be changing area code soon, where she strategically helps business owners develop video and funnel marketing strategies. In just 4 years, through vertical video marketing, our guest has grown an audience of over 500,000, generated over $2 million, not one, but $2 million in her business, and has helped thousands of business owners scale and market their business online. She recently helped one of her clients reach over $1 million in her business in 10 months on the TikTok platform. We got the right person we need to talk to. As a partner with her brand, you will surely reach her strong female audience of influencers and entrepreneurs. Please welcome to the show, Keenya Kelly. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here with you guys.
We are excited to have you. So let me start you off with our icebreaker. What is your superpower and how has it assisted you with your journey?
My superpower is probably resilience. That I can go through anything and no matter what, you will never know what I have gone through, what I am going through, because I am someone that is able to just go through all the things. It's like, even like right now, sitting on the floor, like looking like I'm in prison because I'm moving and the movers are out there like moving. And I'm like, okay, we can do this. We can just set up shop and so all the things.
So Keenya, while I was doing your bio, I didn't really mention the name of your consulting agency because your name was in it. So please tell us, what is the name of your consulting agency?
Yeah, so the company is Keenya Kelly LLC, but it's called If You Brand It.
If You Brand It. Okay, so with the Keenya Kelly LLC, is there a reason why you associated your name with the LLC? Was there some sort of strategy behind that piece?
No, because like the LLC, that's just more so like, that's just legally what the company is called, like from a government standpoint. But most people know the name, either my name as a brand or the company name, If You Brand It. So no, there was nothing to that.
I'm curious, when did you start? When did you launch? How long has your company been in business?
Yeah, so I've been actually full-time entrepreneurship since 2016. I basically got started. I mean, I did a lot of like network marketing as a young adult, and so I knew how much money people could make. Mm-hmm. And so once you can see what is possible, it's really hard to hold a job. And so in 2016, I was like, it's a little hard to stay here because I know my potential. So I just kind of started teaching what I knew online when Periscope came out through Twitter. And I've been going ever since. Like, it hasn't always been easy, but I've just been going since then.
With all the forms of media now, because at one point, I mean, and it changes so rapidly.
Yeah.
At one point, it was the Vine, then it was Instagram. Now TikTok is a place. How do you keep up with the ever changing landscape of social media, and when it comes to marketing?
For sure. So, I mean, even though I may look 21, I'm 43 next month. I've always like associated myself with younger people. So, like, every business I've ever had, I've always had 20-year-olds connected to me because the 20-year-olds are the most innovative because they're in that creative space all the time. And so, my claim to fame is I don't need to know everything, but if I have everybody around me, I know everything.
Another quick question that just came to mind, knowing that everything is sponsorship, sponsorship, sponsorship.
Mhm.
So, knowing that you've been in the business for as long as you have, wondering if you could speak to whether or not things have started to get better for like content creators of color in terms of the sponsorship dollars that they're being offered.
Yeah, you mean sponsorship and or brand deals or as an
Brand
influencer?
deals, yes, sort of
Yeah,
monetizing and things like that.
for sure. So we all know 2020 did a number on businesses. People stopped like being politically correct and they started calling businesses out, and now
Absolutely.
you've got not just people of color calling people out, but you've got allies calling brands out. And so there is this new website called FU Pay Me. Now it's literally like the F word, but I don't curse, but it's like FUCK Pay Me. And on that website was launched to basically tell like everybody's telling how much they're getting paid per brand. And so things of that nature, like because all that has come out, people of color are starting to get paid what they're worth. Now, is it fully equally? No. I mean, because we're still dealing with the way the country is, period. Are people still lowballing people of color? Absolutely. But is it getting better? Oh yeah.
That's great.
So I have a question for you. Way that I was raised is, hey, son, you're going to school. You're gonna finish high school, you're gonna go to college. You're
Yeah.
gonna go get a degree, then you're gonna go get a job.
Yeah.
Now, is that still the way of the world? Do you find that a college degree, you have to have a college degree in order to be successful nowadays? Or is that something that, you know what, just to be part of the matrix, you go ahead and get your degree?
I think it just depends. I think I wouldn't want somebody to be my dentist if he didn't have a degree or she didn't have a degree, or my lawyer or
Facts.
my doctor. So I think that there are still aspects of the world where having a degree is necessary. But do I think that everyone needs to have a degree to have success in life? No, because we all know millions of people who have degrees and don't really have that much of a job, or can't even find a job. My degree isn't even in what I'm doing today, so I don't think that it's necessary. Do I think that going to college was beneficial for me? Yes, in some aspects. But with the student loan debt that I have, I would say no. you know
The
With,
student loan debts is real. Okay, I mean, the further dream was kind of my motto for a while there after getting
Yeah.
out of school there. So I just wonder, you talking about working with younger people and them
Mhm.
being on trend. Is college going to be something that's going to be obsolete?
oh,
Um, I think that there is college that we know of it today is going to be no more. I don't think that college is going away, but I think that as we have known it today as 30, 40, 50-year-old people or however everybody is, not saying any of y'all are 50, but just don't want to like, cap you out. But I just think that right. I think college is going to be just different than how it always has been. Like I don't think it's just going to be different.
I can't foresee, and maybe this is my personality flaw. I can't foresee college being different because of the impact that it has on creating and shaping the youth. The ability to go into school and grow and learn and pay bills and all these other things. How different do you think it'll be? Like, what do you
Yeah.
see it? What do you foresee in the future in terms of how college is going to change?
I mean, well, if you look at how our country is, USA, we're like trained to go get a job, right? And you've got all of these people that are in their teens that can now see I can become very financially successful without ever getting a job, right? And so that
Mm,
has already changed how they see all the things, right? So then curriculums from the beginning are going to have to like not teach people all about jobs because they're going to see how many people are not going in that direction. So like you're going to have middle school, high school is going to begin to evolve the way that they have always taught us. It has to evolve or people are not going to be going through school the way that we did because it's like I mean, it sounds kind of conspiracy theorist, but we literally got programmed to what do you want to be when you grow up? Go get a job.
yeah.
But now you've got this generation of people, like let's just say the 20s right now. The 20s are the people that are like, we don't love jobs. And they're eventually going to be 30 and 40 years old with kids. So if they already have this mindset, when they have their kids, they're going to be programming their kids. Sorry, my thing zooms in. They're going to be programming their kids how to think. And if they already have the mindset of you don't have to get a degree, you know, that's going to be the new program. At school is going that whole thing is going to have to change. Like even right now, if you go to certain universities, there's classes that teach you. There's TikTok classes. There's short video marketing classes. There's influencer marketing classes because it's something that needs to be studied and taught and all that. So we just, I mean, we're older, so we may not, that may not be our kids or whatever, but definitely the kids of this generation are like, they're not going to go the same way we went or were taught.
Wow, interesting.
Yep. Also curious, knowing how deeply tied social media is as far as marketing and things today, what are your thoughts on seeing the shift on some of the biggest players coming into the spotlight? For example, Twitter evolving to X evolving
Hmm.
over to X, and then also now the TikTok ban that was recently passed. What type of impact do you think that's going to have on the industry and as well as like for brands and the people, the creators that are actually involved?
Yeah. So Elon Musk is he fascinates me. I mean, I'm not like a fan or not a fan, but I feel like he's a very smart guy. And I think that he's just has this personality that you just love to hate. But I think he's very smart and very innovative. And the fact that originally when they were changing Twitter over to X, he was talking about people paying this monthly subscription fee. And everybody was like, no, 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 no. And then guess what happened? Meta Verified came out. And then they just talked about Meta Verified being even better. And it's like, but who started that? Elon Musk did. So I think that social media is having its own shift that people can some can see and some can't see, like a pay to play type of situation, which makes sense because it's a business for them. How do they make money? They've got to make money. When I look at what's happening with TikTok, I think that the government has quite the fight, against them as right now because you're talking about that freedom of speech is that's a problem with what they're doing, talking about banning an app. But you also have, I think it's 50 million businesses, no, 30 million businesses on TikTok in the US. And if they ban that, you're talking about how much you're going to be hurting the economy. You're talking
Mhm.
about 130 million Americans that can no longer access an app during an election year. I don't encourage people to act like January 6th, but if they think that January 6th was a big deal
Mhm.
with President Trump not getting voted into office, former President Trump. I mean, what's going to happen when you're messing with all these people's money? Now, I don't think anybody's going to storm the White House or anything, but I think that there's a huge, like, we're realizing that you're saying that you don't want TikTok to show us things, but what are we being shown by Facebook? What are we being shown by Google and all this type of stuff? So I think there's a huge there's all these shifts that are happening. It just feels like something else, but it's like it's everything is just being turned over on his head, I think.
Mhm. It's definitely going to be
So,
interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that with the pay to play because ultimately that became the demise of the newspaper, right?
Hmm.
So all of this information got on the internet and newspapers didn't carve out their piece of the pie to it. And
Hmm.
therefore, it was like, well, why would I pay for a local subscription when I
Hmm.
can go on ESPN.com and click a link and find out the score of the game or
Yeah.
or Google the obituaries myself?
Yeah.
So
Well, it worked for a while though. I mean, if we look at it like it was a long time before the .com, when newspaper, you had to pay for a newspaper. So that was lots of years. It's just that once the shift happened with the .com, newspapers didn't evolve quick enough.
Absolutely. So do you see a space where social media will not evolve quick enough, or do you think that we're in like the HOV lane at this point?
I think we're in the HOV at this point because it's still, I mean, you still have millions upon millions and millions of people who are not using social media, who just, I think we're just kind of scratching the scratch with that, even though we are there and we're like, oh, it's going to go out. No, 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 because there's nothing on the horizon right now today, but it will at some point, like the metaverse and all that type of stuff. We're not ready for that yet. We thought we were, but we're not. But I think that eventually in some time, but I don't think it's nowhere near like, I don't think while I'm alive or while I'm creating on content, I don't think it's going to be then.
Yeah. That was going to be my question next, was asking like, thinking about the future ahead, knowing how AI right now is the trending hot topic, and I think it will be,
Mhm.
that and big data,
Yeah.
data, data, data everywhere. So, um, wondering if, based on what you're seeing and through your background and experience, if how big of an impact do you think AI is going to have on like social media and just marketing in general?
Um, that's an interesting take. I mean, I've been trying to watch a lot of things about AI. I think AI has pluses and minuses for sure. I love all the different tools that we use in our business to help us grow. I do think that it has helped us to streamline things in our business, so we're not spending as much money in certain things. I think that when you have something like a chat GPT, it's amazing, but it's also very robotic, So I think that here's this tool that's making things easier, but I don't think it's going to cause, complete change. But I also think that we're gonna see how quick it's kind of like, what are those movies? I Robot, Minority Report. You got all those movies. We've always seen these things that were gonna happen, and we're just kind of watching them happen with AI. The unfortunate thing is I think AI is going to continue to be used negatively. I think that we're going to see a rise of people doing things that they shouldn't be doing with people's voices, their faces, and all that type of stuff. And I think that the government's going to try to figure out how to have regulations on all the things. I know that TikTok and Instagram, their software is programmed to where they can determine what is AI when it's being put out there. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting time, but I think it's a good thing. But I think it's also everything always is a plus and minus, in my opinion.
All right. So speaking of plus and minuses, we're about to segue into the next segment of the show. Shoot, and logical genius is usually the person who tells us what's about to happen next. So I kind of have no clue what it is that we're going to be doing next.
Act like you've
But
been here
no,
before.
what's
That's
that?
funny.
Act like you've been here before.
Act like I've been here before. All right. So allegedly, what's about to happen next, and logical genius, I'm sure will critique me on how I introduce this, is we as a team are going to present to you our 5 cents on the topic. What is the
Okay.
topic today, Mr. HLS?
The topic of today is the most compelling marketing campaigns of the last 2 years.
Mm.
So what has happened? What is going to happen is I, myself, Soso Juv, is going to deliver my 5 cents. Misha is going to deliver her 5 cents on the topic, and so is HLS. What you are going to do, you're going to have the daunting task of deciding who is in third place, because we like to laugh at the loser, and who is in first place. We don't care about second place. Don't even mention second place. We just want to know who is number one.
Okay.
So the first, oh no, wait a second.
You're missing
I
a
was
part.
about to get
You're
right
missing a
into it,
part.
but there's another part to it. There's the judging aspect to it. And HLS, please explain to our judge, what is the criteria for judging?
So, with marketing campaigns, as you know, it's got to be impactful. It's got to be compelling. It's got to have all these different ingredients to make it just something more.
Mhm.
But for this show, there is no criteria.
None.
You might like the fact that my list hits home for you.
She doesn't even know where her home is right now. What are you even talking
But that's
about?
the point. You see how I did it there? No matter where you are, it hits home.
Oh my
That's funny.
goodness. You might like the fact, Keenya, that I'm going to give you straight facts. And you might like the fact that Mish is just a guest judge, a guest host with us,
with a
and
fire list, with a fire list of campaigns ready to go.
it's completely and totally up to you.
Completely up to you. But your first task, you get to decide who goes first.
Oh, okay. I would say Juve.
Okay.
In the building. Oh man, here is my 5 cents
Can I
on
take
the top.
notes?
Yes, please,
Okay,
please,
okay,
please,
okay, okay,
please,
okay.
Whatever you
please
like.
take
It's your
I'm like, I'm
notes.
show.
not
It's
gonna
your
remember
show.
this.
All right, so at number 5, the way I approach this list is, of course, it is always dear to me, personal to me. So at number 5, I got the Shiggy Challenge. All right, challenges has become a thing and has become a norm, especially with music and marketing. So the Shiggy Challenge, the reason why I chose that one is because it started off for me. So it went to the song to Drake, In My Feelings. And all of a sudden, I saw people dancing outside of their car, talking about Kiki, do you love me? Doing all of that stuff. And before you know it now, ever since then, it seems like there's a challenge for every song out there. So now lately it's been Beyonce, this ain't Texas, and everybody's doing some sort of hoo-ha to promote whatever it is that they're doing. You had the Tamia 8-step challenge or whatever it may be. So everything is now a challenge to be able to market what it is that you got going on for content. At number 4, I have 3 letters for you. FYP. For your page. 55.2 trillion views on TikTok. The hashtag movement. Everything is a hashtag. Every time HLS speaks on the show, it's hashtag whatever. And I'm like, you're just making up things. But this one, FYP, is a huge one. If you want something to go viral, have that hashtag on there, and it will definitely help you out. Next up at number 3, we definitely have some influencer marketing, and I'm going with Jake Paul and his brand himself.
Mhm,
Jake Paul, YouTuber, is now about to fight Mike Tyson on Netflix and make a boatload of money.
mhm.
Money.
All that's going to be spent on hospital bills, but nevertheless, I digress.
I don't know who's going to the hospital. I'm gonna say Jake because I can't see 60-year-old Mike going to the hospital. It will hurt my heart, but that's what's about to happen. Next up is a little bit controversial, but hey, the show is what it is, and I have to go with the sex tape.
Oh,
Which
Kim
one?
Kardashian built a whole entire universe. They thought, and I can't even say Kim, it's actually the mom. The mom pimped out her daughter or whatever it may be. But sex tape is definitely a thing to get whatever notoriety that you want to get. HLS is shaking his head. But I mean, OnlyFans is a personal sex tape for anybody who wants to put out a sex tape. Go ahead and start your OnlyFans account. People are making money. And at number 1, I have the community. And I really could mention 2 communities there, the Swifties and the Bayhive. You build a community, yeah, you better watch out. You might get canceled. So that right there, Keenya, is my 5 cents on the topic. Who do you want to listen to next?
HLS.
So, Kenya, I attacked this list a little bit differently.
Of
Soso
course you
Juv,
did. Of course.
of course I did.
Of course.
Soso Juv had an interesting take on the topic.
Mhm.
So we'll see how he ends up. At number 5, there was a beer brand that had an interesting marketing campaign called Heineken. In 2017, they had a campaign called Worlds Apart, right? And what they did was they brought 2 different people with 2 different, vastly different belief systems together. They had them perform a task. And after it was done, they shared a beer together and they talked about their differences. That in itself, that campaign, made that beer brand jump 7% in the weeks after that. that the weeks after that campaign aired. So Worlds Apart by Heineken. The strategy, bringing people together, sharing a beer, talking, thought it was super impactful. And number four, now this original came out before the last decade, but it's Jake from State Farm.
Hmm.
But the new Jake, the black Jake from State Farm, came with the last decade. And that
Mhm.
was impactful because, again, as we're changing, more diversity is important. And spreading more diversity for this company that's been around for almost a century. They brought in the black Jake, and their sales are going through the roof. Since the new black Jake came in, and they reached a more diverse audience, their order policies grew by 1.5 million that year alone. So in 2020, because of the black Jake from State Farm, order policies grew by 1.5 million. Now this was interesting to me because in 2021 there was a shortage. There was a shortage of chicken wings, and there was a brand that built their business on wings, Wingstop. It had no more chicken wings. So what did they do? Created Thigh Stop to get more people into the store. So they created this online business, thighstop.com. We could go order online or through DoorDash and come back into their store to buy more chicken because there was a shortage of chicken wings. They even had Rick Ross, the boss, do a campaign ad for Thigh Stop. And fun fact, I didn't know this, he owns like at least 30 different Wingstop franchises. So Thigh Stop's campaign to bring in, sorry, Wingstop's campaign to bring in more people because there was a chicken wing shortage was super interesting to me. And number two, two names, two names that help skyrocket this brand into the stratosphere. It's been around for a long time. You've seen it. I think Soso Juv is a loyalist. Old Spice. Old Spice. Terry Crews and Isaiah Mustafa did these commercial ads for Old Spice. And the marketing was witty, it was funny, it appealed to a minority audience, and it appealed to so many different people because you had someone as big as buff as Terry Crews and someone who's still fit as Isaiah, and there's funny, there's humor, there was so much branding across all platforms. Old Spice, their campaign with Terry Crews and Isaiah Mustafa. And then number one, Social Juve kind of hinted at it, and I think this might have been one of the first viral campaigns. But this marketing was crazy because it didn't even cost any money. You didn't need a spokesperson. You didn't need a gimmick. Well, sorry, I guess there was a gimmick. We didn't need a spokesperson. We didn't need a catchy ad. It was the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Mm.
That marketing campaign went viral around the world. It caught so much wind. I remember there was one, Matt Damon said, hey, listen, I'm not going to waste good water. He took toilet water from his own bathroom and said, hey, this water is much cleaner than some of the drinking water in other countries. And he dumped toilet water on his head for the Ice Bucket Challenge. And that in itself raised $115 million worldwide for ALS, aka the Lou Gehrig disease. And that, Kenya, is my 5 cents on the most strategic and compelling marketing campaigns of the last decade.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yes, saving the best for last. I also took a very unique approach to my list. I will say that is someone that has a public relations and marketing background that definitely played a part in the development and narrowing down of my list. But wanted to just call out that I chose my five based on uniqueness, visibility, engagement, and then like message pull through in terms of the brand with recognition and things like that. So starting off strong, and really speaks to the girl in me is the Barbie movie, which made a huge splash last year, continues to still be written about. And it was known because of all of the product partnerships. It was all over. They did a special Xbox console. Then they had the Malibu Barbie Dream House that you could rent on Airbnb. And then on top of that, it was just all over social, outdoor ads, influencer partnerships, unique activations, any and specialty events, just all over. And last year was absolutely a big year for Barbie and all the Barbie girls of the world. So that's my number five. Coming in at number four, I have Spotify's Wrapped Year in Music. I'm a big Spotify person. And I remember, I think it was only a year, 2 or 3 years ago, where Spotify debuted their Wrapped Year in Review list. And it's basically a personalized readout from all of your most listened to songs of the year. And they created in all of these different types of lists for you, and it's really surprising. I look forward to it every year. And when I knew it really got big is because I started seeing people this past New Year's post their Spotify rap lists on social, and those are the app automatically generates those
Mhm.
posts for you to make pull through super easy. And even at work, we were talking about it in our teams chats and things like that, and sharing in like ERGs and whatnot. So that goes to show you how far that went. So really cool and thoughtful thing that Spotify did there. Number three, I love sneakers, really love like classic Jordans and stuff like that. Couple of years ago, and as you know, if you're a sneakerhead and you like classic sneakers, it's hard to get your hands on them. When they come out, they're super expensive, or you just can't find them at all. Or if you know, you go to eBay and you wait and you try to bid on them. So knowing that, eBay came out with this great pop-up store idea. They did it a couple of years ago in LA for Memorial Day weekend, and it was a pop-up shop. It's called Wear 'em Out the Store, where they basically offered all of the most exclusive, hard to get sneakers, and they were at up to 70% off for this weekend at this pop-up shop in Cali in LA. And the hook was you had to wear the sneakers out the store. That was the one trade-off, because what happens is these sneakers, they they get out of circulation and then you never see them anymore. So to avoid that from happening, it's all about like live in the moment, live and enjoy it now, which I really love that type of messaging. And they also partner with Offset. It was a really great all-around activation. They got some really cool videos on YouTube around that activation. So that's my number three. Number two is really new. As you all know, every year companies like Sherman-Williams come out with their color of the year. They usually do it at the beginning of the year. They make a big fuss out of it. All of their marketing and all of their campaigning is around this color. And then you see it everywhere. So what they did so cool this year is, instead of them doing like the most popular color or sought after color, they created a campaign for the loneliest color. So this is the color that doesn't often get picked, and it's a really nice color. It's like this, excuse me, golden yellowy color. So I thought that that was just a really interesting spin on diverting from the most popular to going to the one that's least often talked about. This, and that's also a really smart like marketing. Like, how else do you sell the colors that no one buys? You make a campaign around them. And one of the coolest things that I think they did, I really love when they get really strategic about who they partner with. And for this campaign, they partnered with B Dapper Dan. And just knowing that he's like a design visionary and has been around for decades and just never felt like he really got his due. I love that a brand like Sherman-Williams was able to recognize who he is, his impact on culture and fashion, and he's the face of this. And he basically designed this whole custom line featuring the loneliest color. So that's my number two. And drum roll, please. Number one, I feel like I'm gonna get some hate for this, and it's okay. I'm a 80s/90s baby, so that's gonna explain why. My number one is Chili's Return of the Baby Back Ribs jingle featuring Boys to Men. By far, that campaign blew me out the water. The way I felt nostalgia when I saw Boys to Men singing the Baby Back Ribs song just filled my heart with joy. I loved it. I think it's a great moment for Gen Z and Gen Alpha because they don't know who Boys to Men are. So it was a great opportunity to like reintroduce or to introduce Boys to Men to a whole new generation. And who don't love some baby? I mean, for those who eat pork, who don't love some baby back ribs at Chili's? Like it's just the thing to do. So that's my number. That's my list.
So good.
All
Well
right.
done. Well done.
So, Kenya, what is going to happen is we're going to get into a little cross examination, but that's going to happen next week. So, everybody's going to have to stay tuned as Keenya Kelly gets to deliberate and process whose list is the best and who we're going to make sense. So, until next week, we will see you until we see you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.